Hi, I am Jinu George, OET trainer at the COSMO Center Trivandrum. Today I am going to discuss about writing subtest. The writing subtest takes 45 minutes, in which 5 minutes is for reading and the remaining 40 minutes is for draft your letter. Today we are going to discuss about Miss Nicole Smith's case file. Nicole Smith is a 35-year-old patient and she is admitted in a psychiatric ward. The patient details are: she is admitted on July 1st and discharged on July 18th, and she is diagnosed with a schizophrenia, and she has a medical history of hypertension and primary hypothyroidism, and she has a social history. She is unemployed and she has a history of polysubstance abuse, and she is living with her parents. While we go through admission details, she is self-admitted to the ward. While admission, there was no complaints of medication intake, but she was agitated and aggressive, and she was showing some auditory and visual hallucinations. In addition, she was exhibiting some delusions. While go through the remaining case note, the nursing management assess her objective signs of psychosis. While go through the nursing management, the hospital assess her objective signs of psychosis, redirect the patient from delusions, and ensure medical compliance. They also help to maintain behavioral control and provide some therapies. After the nursing management, the hospital have done some assessment and she shows some progress. If she is not on medication, she can decompensate her chronic mental illness. The discharge plan, that's an important part while reading the case note. In discharge plan, they have mentioned few medication. She is discharging back to her apartment with a follow-up at a Greywall Mental Health Clinic, and they are explaining about the medication that she need to take home. And the writing task, the main task is write a letter to the nurse in Greenwald Mental Health Clinic. So the Greenwald Mental Health Clinic nurse already knows the patient. In writing, there is no need to mention about the social status or any family history. After nursing management, we will go to assessment. During assessment, Ms. Nicole shows good progress and she has appropriate insight and judgment. But if she is not on medication, her chronic mental illness and substance abuse can decompensate. Now we move to discharge plan. The patient is discharged back to apartment with follow-up at a Greenwald Mental Health Clinic. And the letter we are writing to a nurse in Greenwald Mental Health Clinic. So we are writing a letter to a nurse in Greenwald Mental Health Clinic, and the patient is back to their care. In discharge plan, they explains about the medication intake. Now we move to discharge plan. In discharge plan, it explains about the medication that she takes orally. And the discharge, she is going back to her apartment with a follow-up at a Greywall Mental Health Clinic, and we are writing a letter to a nurse in Greenwald Mental Health Clinic. So in this case note, we need to mention about her discharge plan and the assessment and the nursing management, admission and discharge details. No need to mention about her social background, as the nurse knows her already because she was been in their care before admission. This is how we draft the letter. First, we need to write the date which she is going to discharge, that is 18 July 2018. Then the address, whom we are writing. So we are writing the letter to nurse, Greenwald Mental Health Clinic. Then the salutation, dear nurse, and we need to give the reference. We are writing about Nicole Smith, Miss Nicole Smith. She is aged 35. Then we move to introduction. In introduction, it is very important to mention three things: who the patient is, why we are writing, what the diagnosis of the patient. So I am writing to update on Miss Smith, who has been diagnosed with a schizophrenia, is being discharged today for continued care from your center. So in introduction itself, it is very clear why the patient is discharging and what is the diagnosis, I mean. Next we move to why she is admitted to hospital. So, during hospitalization, what all things the patient's difficulties. So, Ms. Smith was self-admitted to hospital on 1st July 2018. She was experiencing significant thought disorder including thought blocking and latency. She was also exhibiting delusions and experiencing auditory, command and visual hallucination. So, in question itself we saw details of the problems, but while we are writing we have to summarize what all problems the patient was suffering. After that we need to mention what all things happened in hospital. So, while we are writing, another important thing is we need to write details in separate paragraphs. So, each paragraph should contain, for example, her medical problem. After we mention about what all problems she was facing during admission, then we need to mention about her hospitalization. So, after her stay in hospital and being placed back on her medication, her medical condition was stabilized and she is able to focus on her activities of daily living. So, we are just summarizing what happened after hospitalization or after she is being placed on medication. She is demonstrating appropriate insight and judgment. Her nursing management in hospital focused on compliance with her antipsychotic medications, behavioral control and therapy, and having reported visual or auditory hallucinations. So, in this paragraph we finished all nursing management and assessment informations. Next we are moving to discharge plan. As per the discharge plan, Ms. Smith is on oral risperidone 4 mg nightly, and additionally oral risperidone 1 mg can be administered as needed twice daily for if she is agitated. Then we need to mention about she need medication monitoring and any evidence of substance abuse. So, we need to write, kindly note that she will require medication monitoring to avoid non-compliance for her medications or substance abuse. So, we need to mention what all things in the discharge plan. We need to mention that in the last paragraph. By starting as per the discharge plan, we need to request them about the medication that she need to take and to monitor the medication intake. Then we need to conclude our letter with, if you have any queries please contact me. The last we need to mention yours sincerely nurse. Sometimes in case note they give our name, so at that time we need to mention the name. If they are not giving any name, we need to write nurse or registered nurse or charge nurse. So, it is very important to write the letter in 180 to 200 words. Let me conclude, the letter should be between 180 to 200 words. Thank you for watching my video.